Subway stations flooded. Cars got stuck on a Queens parkway. Park staircases became water walls in Brooklyn. But overall, New York City mostly avoided the worst possible outcome from Thursday evening's torrential rainstorm. New York City was under a flood watch Thursday afternoon, bracing for potentially dangerous and disruptive flooding in streets, basement apartments, and on transit. The outlook looked grim ahead of the storm, with the 5 boroughs expecting to see 1.5 inches to 3 inches of rain and the possibility of up to 5 inches in some areas, according to the National Weather Service. Some neighborhoods experienced more severe flooding than others. Flood monitors measured waters over a foot deep in East Flatbush, Brooklyn, and nearly 2 feet deep in Richmond, Staten Island. In Park Slope, a subway station was inundated with water, as was the FDR Drive in Manhattan. First responders rescued 2 people in a vehicle from the flooded Clearview Expressway in Queens, while drivers abandoned other cars and trucks. Yet neighborhoods typically the first to flood in heavy rainfall were mostly left unscathed, including parts of Gowanus, Brooklyn, and East Elmhurst, Queens. Most of the storm had moved on by evening, but a flood watch will remain in effect in the city until 8 a.m. Friday. New York City Emergency Management warned New Yorkers to avoid travel Thursday afternoon and urged those who live in flood-prone homes to prepare to evacuate. Governor Kathy Hochul on Thursday afternoon declared a state of emergency, and the city later suspended alternate side parking. Our emergency teams and city agencies are fully mobilized and prepared, but New Yorkers must also take steps to stay safe, Mayor Eric Adams said in a statement.
I can't believe
Sign up for Notify NYC. Know your exits if you live in a basement apartment, and be ready to act before conditions become life-threatening. Basement apartment residents could head to New York Police Department precincts if they had nowhere else to go, officials said. Check in on your loved ones, Emergency Management Commissioner Zach Iskall said Thursday late afternoon. In recent years, summertime deluges that flood the city have become common and destructive. Record rainfall came in 2021 as a result of Hurricane Ida. The Weather Service measured more than 3 inches an hour at that storm's peak, with more than 7 inches in all in many parts of the city. At least 13 people died, including 11 who drowned in flooded basements. The event was unprecedented. The torrential rains once again transformed some subway stations into waterfalls. Floodwaters soaked the iconic Grand Central Station's platform, cascaded in dramatic waterfalls inside Brooklyn's J Street Metrotech, and burst from the walls in the 7th Avenue station in Park Slope, Wild video showed. An LIRR train got stuck on the tracks for several hours near Bayside Station in Queens, forcing firefighters to use ladders to help travel-weary commuters evacuate, according to separate footage. I was scared at first. About 15 minutes after we stopped on the tracks, all the lights went off. That's when I got a little scared and went, "Oh boy, something's going on," recalled Jessica Grant, a Stony Brook resident who was heading home after a trip to Lake George. Grant was sitting in the second car and was able to trek to the front of the train and see the track covered by water, she said. Another passenger added that the crew kept promising a rescue engine that never came. A third passenger, who said she experienced claustrophobia and had double vision, started to panic once the cars started to heat up. To add insult to wet injury, a power outage at a Manhattan subway station caused delays on multiple trains as commuters desperately tried to flee home amid the storm. The roadways above ground weren't spared either, and as the skies opened up with a vengeance in the late afternoon, Governor Kathy Hochul and Mayor Eric Adams issued emergency declarations, urging New Yorkers to stay home to avoid the flooded streets and inundated subway stations. The The Clearview Expressway in Queens was left underwater, trapping a semi-truck and several cars, authorities said. Wild video showed 2 vehicles almost completely submerged, an SUV stranded under an overpass with its trunk open, and the 18-wheeler with water up to its cab doors. The footage also showed a pickup truck hauling a small vehicle attempting to ford the murky waters that appeared to be over 3 feet deep in certain spots. Storms that hit the Philadelphia area on Thursday dropped as much as 3 to 5 inches of rain in some locations and less than a half inch for others, according to radar estimates. Friday morning, residents around the region are cleaning up after the scattered bouts of heavy rain led to flash flooding, including in Lower Moreland, Montgomery County. Residents said water rushed into their yards and many vehicles were submerged as the rain poured down. On one road in Lower Moreland, a car was seen stalled out in deep water. One resident said she's never seen flooding this bad in her community. "I have a foot of water around my entire house. It just broke through the fence," neighbor Kim McQuiggan said. The storms also damaged trees around the region. Floodwaters swallowed the Spring Street underpass in Reading again Thursday afternoon, a problem neighbors say has been happening for decades. "It gets so flooded, even the basement gets flooded," said Buenfil Rodriguez, who lives nearby. Reading Fire Chief James Stout Jr. says the storm moved in quickly and dumped a significant amount of rain in a short amount of time. The area between 6th and 8th Streets, known locally as the Subway, is just one of several spots in Reading prone to flooding. That area, plus Nickel Street, North 8th, and what we call the Oley Street cut, they all flood regularly, Stout added. Even with barricades up, firefighters say 2 drivers went around emergency vehicles and drove straight into floodwaters. "They drove right into the water and sank," said Chief Stout. Longtime residents like Gary Googler say they're tired of the same thing happening over and over again. "It's always been like this. They never fix it. They could put pumps down there or do something, but nobody does nothing. It's not a priority." Officials say while infrastructure is a concern, some of the danger could be avoided if people would take flooding seriously.
You out your mind. This is insane.